Is Cooper Rush really about to steal Lamar Jackson's job? I don't know. Are the Raiders about to upset the Colts and win outright? Colts fans everywhere up in an uproar. I have my top prop, my game of the week, another game from Contrarian Island. All of the world loves one side. I'm going the other way. Who will be right? That and much, much more on this week's player performance.
If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Whoop. Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player performance with J.A. Cavalier.
All right, welcome back. Here we are, NFL Week 5. I, of course, am J.A. Cavalier, your favorite capper's favorite capper. This is NFL Player Performance. Go ahead, smash the like button. Thumbs up. Appreciation, always appreciated. Of course, we appreciate you guys the most. If you're new, welcome. Now go ahead, subscribe, and be sure to tell a friend, because if you're not telling a friend, are you really, truly a friend? We do this every single week. I'm going to tell you who I like. I'm going to tell you why I like them, hopefully making you a smarter player along the way. We're going to get to NFL Week 5 in just a sec, but first, I'm going to recap Week 4 with Tessa Hall.
Back it up. One more time.
All right, let's see that again.
Here's your NFL Week 4 recap. My eyes are burning. Cincinnati, please, for the love of God, trade for a quarterback. Speaking of my eyes burning, I never, ever want to see that Tyreek Hill video again. At least the Dolphins finally got a win. So who wins the Micah Parsons trade? Well, an overtime tie settles it. Neither team. The Chiefs are like Dracula. No one really likes them. They suck blood, and they will never, ever die. How are there so many blocked field goals? Put some damn boys on the line. Looking at you, Vegas. Matt Stafford looked like 29-year-old Matt Stafford with one of the clutchest drives of the season for a win over Indy. Brock Purdy might need to amputate his toe if it means he has 4 turnovers every game. I'll say it. It's time for Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland after another Joe Flacco goose egg. Think about this. You and Spencer Rattler have the same amount of wins in the NFL, and Spencer Rattler has a 10-game head start. Turns out, if the Drake May Pats want to look like the Tom Brady Pats, they just have to face the Panthers. Baker Mayfield is really good, until he has this weird vertigo thing where he throws to the other team. Houston has one of the worst offenses in the league until they play Tennessee and look like the greatest show on grass. Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, the future of the Giants is here, and the Chargers just happen to be in their wake. Marcus Mariota revenge game against Atlanta, but similar to how his tenure ended in Atlanta, he quit. I didn't see any reports of the Dublin Drug Enforcement Agency taking Aaron Rodgers' pills, but he did leave the country with a dub. A kicker not knowing where to kick a ball cost the Cardinals a game. Welcome to the NFL in 2025. That's your NFL Week 4 recap.
So where I was right, and as Bernsey says, I'm never wrong. I may not always be right, but I'm never wrong. So what a weekend. Just the ebb and flows of sports betting, right? You know, you got to be built for this shit, and luckily for you guys, I am. So I lose 50,000 on Saturday and Sunday, the combination of the 2 days, and then I come back on Monday night and hit for close to 70. I mean, just the rare ability of the king here. Saturday, all of it was laid on the Georgia team total. Kid drops a wide open touchdown. And look, I never get mad at 18-year-old kids. They're doing what 18-year-old kids are supposed to do. They're still learning the game. But I mean, come on. Wide open. The only way that could have been any easier if I walked down the field and actually handed him the ball. But where it got worse was towards the end of the third quarter on the 10-yard line, and Kirby Smart outsmarts himself once again. Gunner gets close to the line to make, and for some reason, they rush to the line. Instead of getting the right personnel in, getting the right play called, Bobo decides this jet sweep or this sweep around to a kid who hasn't played all game. First off, the right decision is always to kick the field goal in that spot and tie the game. I mean, this is a big game, SEC game between the hedges. You're playing to win the game. And there's another story coming up in a little bit about another coach who did not play to win. Look, you tie the game, you put it on your defense. That's the staple of your program, is that defense, that Georgia defense. You put it on their backs, and then you go win it at the end of the game, or you go win it in overtime. But once again, this is why Kirby never beats Bama. just bad decisions. And look, it was a bad beat. I take my medicine. I just take my medicine. And that's what you have to do. But those are the ones that really sting. And this is why Kirby just can't beat Alabama. All right, so still, that happens on Saturday. I go into Sunday, and I'm still feeling good. I mean, regardless of whatever happens in any sport on any day of the week, NFL has always been the one constant, the consistent. So I trusted my reads on Sunday, and I trusted I was going to get back. And I got to be honest, I seen the board incredibly clear on Sunday. Overall, record-wise, it was like 8-4 or 8-3. I mean, I had myself a day. The problem is the Chargers not only accounted for 2 of those losses, it just so happens that one of them was the biggest loss on the day. It was a money line parlay. Now, those drinking that Jackson Dart Kool-Aid, easy, right? Easy. Because that was more on Justin Herbert than it was on Dart. I mean, Dart threw for what? $111? I mean, give me a break. Herbert, worst game I've seen him play in 2 years. Chargers, 14 penalties. But this is how bad life is right now for a Giants fan. You win that game. You beat the Chargers. And somehow you still lose. Malik Neighbors gone for the season, and that kind of hurts football fans everywhere because the kid is one of those rare talents that you want to see on the field. You want to see him making plays on Sunday. Just painful to watch. Look, so here it is. I like Jackson Dart. More so, I like, the hope he brings to Dirty Jersey, the hope he brings to the Meadowlands, the hope he brings to Giant fans everywhere. And don't get me wrong, look, the book on him is far from written. But if you guys want some cliff notes, I got them. Playing that way in the NFL doesn't work. You'll be dead in 3 weeks. You can't play the quarterback position in this league like you're Scatterboo at the running back. Not at quarterback. Not in the NFL. Not against these defensive linemen. Not against these linebackers. You're going to get hurt. And they'll probably check that at some point and make him more comfortable in the pocket, or at least teach the kid to slide. You can't take on linebackers head first. You just can't do it. You can't do it and expect to be able to walk in 3 years. You just can't do it. All right, so Colt fans on X lit me up. Holy shit, you know what? I thought Cowboys fans were unrealistic. I thought Eagles fans were unrealistic. But you give a guy a taste of success, and he's just completely off the fucking realm of the planet. I mean, he's spinning out in fucking space. Pre-game, the chatter was next level from Colts fans. Now, I didn't think there were any Colts fans left. Like, I didn't think they existed. I thought they all migrated to Denver along with Peyton Manning. That, of course, was pregame. Mind you, pregame. Postgame became the only because. The if. We only lost because. If this didn't happen. But that's the NFL. Look, I get it. You're so long removed from being relevant, you don't remember, right? So here I am to fucking remind you. And you got to also take into consideration, that was a very Matthew Stafford-like win. Matthew Stafford doesn't make wins look easy. They dominated against the Texans. The final score was 14-9. Matthew Stafford just finds ways to win. Daniel Jones historically has found ways to lose these games. This is why I have a rule, though. And Birdsey, I've explained this to you even with your Giants, right? I don't talk football with fanatics. I just don't do it. I don't talk about the Eagles games with Eagle fans. I don't talk Cowboy games with Cowboy fans. We can talk any other game you want. You want to talk about the Jets versus the fucking Packers. You want to talk about the Bears versus the Saints. Have at it. Have a cow. Let's do it. We can do that all day long. We can have that discussion all day long. But I don't talk to fanatics about their teams. They're not realistic. And trust me, it's beautiful because debates now become more realistic and way more objective. I strongly suggest it. Think about it. Grown men paint their face like they're William fucking Wallace. How realistic could they actually be about their squad? Not very much. So then we go into Sunday night, right? Sunday night was like a Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys. And I mean, this is how bad things have gotten in Dallas now, that they celebrate mediocrity, celebrate participation trophies, celebrate a tie. What the fuck is Matt LaFleur thinking? And I don't know if I'm the only one recognizing this. I don't understand how he's not getting lit up on social media, how he's not getting lit up on X or on YouTube. I don't understand it. But you know what? You've escaped it until now. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, Maddie. I still say he is the most overrated coach in the NFL. Nobody gets more from less. Nobody actually gets more or less out of more, right? Like that's the way he says. Yes, nobody gets more. All the talent in the world. I mean, you go from a Hall of Fame quarterback into Jordan Love, and you get less from them than you should. The less production from talented players. It just I've never seen it. 2 minutes on a Monday night. You're on the Cowboy 45, right? You're on the Dallas Cowboy 45. You have 2 minutes to go. You're actively playing for the tie. And the moron in the fucking booth, Chris Collinsworth, holy shit. What a goober. What a fucking goober cheering him on. You don't want to give the ball back to Aubrey. You don't want to give the ball back to Aubrey. You know who the Cowboys have on the other side. You don't want to give Aubrey any time. He can kick that field goal from anywhere. Well, news fucking flash. If you go down and you score that touchdown, you take Aubrey out of the equation altogether. The game ends. You don't even kick the extra point. So a kicker will never be seen or heard from again on Sunday night. If you score that touchdown, game's over. You win the game. You walk it off. Simple. No Aubrey. You play to win the game. You have 2 minutes. What are you doing? You're actively playing for a tie. There's no urgency. Actively playing for a tie. The dumbest thing I've seen, and we've seen a lot of mismanaged clock, right? Over the last couple of years, there's never been cases where coaches have put their teams in a position to lose as much as we've seen it over the last couple of years. But this one just might take the cake. 2 minutes on the Cowboy 45 against that Cowboy defense. A defense, by the way, you just carved up all fucking night long. You're sitting on 37 points, down by 3, and you're playing to tie. Make that make sense. So anyway, we go into Monday night. Monday night was one of my greatest night sports gambling ever. And it's not that it was the most money I've ever made sports betting. There was just, I've never had as much fun doing it. Everything I touched turned to gold. Just turned to gold. I couldn't miss. I mean, I hit a 9-leg parlay, which I always advise you guys is just a bad bet. And in fact, it is a bad bet. And, you know, the worst mistake I made with that is I didn't share it with Burnsy's wife. Yeah. And I did get the text the next day, brah, let me live. Like it was there. It was in the phone. A little bit lucky, a little bit good. I will say this, right? You know, great to see Darren Waller back in the NFL. Like, great to see Waller back in the NFL. And not just because he's playing for the Dolphins and I'm a Dolphin season ticket holder, but that talent needs to be in the NFL. And he immediately made a huge impact on the game. And, of course, I took Waller over 9.5 receiving yards. It just seemed too low. And now the Dolphins have, you know, a big threat inside the red zone. Unfortunately, they lost a guy who typically gets them to the red zone. You know, just a sad, sad scene on Monday night. Tyreek Hill going down, the heart and soul of that Dolphin offense. But I still think the Dolphins would be okay, at least offensively. I mean, there was Civ defensively anyway, so who cares? But I still think that they're going to be all right. They still have more than enough weapons, and Waller's also going to help with that. Even better to go 8-0, sweep the board, you know, pitch a perfect fucking game, bringing us now to 56-22-1 on the season. Think about that. 72% through 4 weeks of the NFL. That's fucking goofy. That's just goofy. But that's what I am right now. Anyway, knock on wood. Let's keep it rolling. Let's bring that in to NFL Week 5. All aboard!
Vikings at Browns.
Vikings laying 3.5. The total here is at 36.5. Way to save the worst for first. We're starting to show off with a banger. Across the pond, live from London. Oh, did I mention? I hate overseas games. All right, give me the Vikings team total under 21.5. Your offensive line is banged up. Brian O'Neill banged up. Brian Kelly left the game with a concussion. He's out. So Carson Wentz is going to be facing pressure from every direction all day long. It's simple. If your offensive line can't protect, forget sustaining drives. And if you can't sustain drives, forget 22 points. It's the best of all worlds for me. right? I get to back the best unit on the field. I get to back the Cleveland defense. I get to back that defensive front. I get to back Myles Garrett. And I get to bypass the Browns offense. And I don't care if it's Flacco, Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. It will be Dylan Gabriel, by the way, but I don't care. I want no part of that Browns offense. Oh, yeah, added bonus, I get to fade Carson Wentz. Sign me up. Vikings team total under 21.5 or 20.5. Doesn't make a difference.
Raiders at Colts.
So the Colts are laying 6.5. The total here is at 47.5. And controversy coming. All right, so the world is going to be on the Colts in this spot, right? Like, this would obviously be the spot. All the money line parlays, all the teasers, laying the 6.5. Everybody is just going to be on the Colts in some way, shape, or form. And look, it makes sense. You have a good team off of a loss, a good coach off of a loss. Played well in LA. That's the bonus, right? You played well in LA. But as I said, that was really just how the Rams win. Rams don't blow out anyone. Matthew Stafford looks pedestrian for pretty much most of the game. And then by the end of the game, somehow he has a lead. He makes plays in the biggest of moments, opposite of Daniel Jones. Colt fans, you don't want to hear it. I get it. Most of you don't want to hear it. But it's the ugly truth. Giant fans, you guys already know. You know the truth about Daniel Jones. You guys have Danny Dimes PTSD. Indianapolis, you've yet to get the full Daniel Jones experience. It's like an Instagram model, right? You strip away all of that makeup. You strip away all of the filters. What do you have? 2 interceptions, 2 sacks, and a 56 QBR. Now, wouldn't this be the perfect spot for the real Danny Dimes to show up? At home, a spot he should absolutely crush, and he comes out and throws 3 interceptions, and not just interceptions, ugly interceptions, trips over the turf. This would be that type of spot. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying it could. The Colts should smack the Raiders, right? But it could happen. Now, Geno Smith is leading the lead right now in interceptions, right? But very rare in the NFL, what seems to be the obvious is obvious. That 6.5 is a motherfucker. It's a scary number because who at 6.5 can back the Raiders in this spot? I'm telling you all of this right now, and still, I can't back the Raiders in this spot. Why not 7? Why not 7.5? Are you telling me that the Colts aren't good enough at home to be laying 7 to a quarterback who leads the league in interception? But the books are stating that they're comfortable with their position, keeping this under a touchdown. Every time this touches 7, it gets pushed back. And believe me, that's not public money. I promise you, it isn't the public that's taking this down off of 7. Every time it touches 7, buyback comes in from the wise guys. So I can't do it. I won't do it. It's Raiders or nothing. It's probably more likely nothing for me. But what I do like in this spot is the over. I can see both of these teams going up and down, back and forth. Colts probably walk it off in some way, shape, or form. Maybe win by 3, or maybe they're up by 10. Maybe they're dominating the stats for most of the game, and they have a 10 to 13 point lead, and somehow the Raiders sneak in the back door. 6.5 for me is just too scary of a number. I don't trust this number. It should be closer to 7 or 8. If the Colts are projected and are as good as they're projected. Look, books are telling you they're not sold. So I'm not sold. They're comfortable keeping this number under 7. Raiders scoring isn't out of the realm of possibility here. Geno Smith with all of those weapons against the middle of the pack defense. Indoors where Geno seems to excel, it seems like a really good spot for Raiders points. If I had any balls whatsoever, I would be betting the Raiders in a spot, but still I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I will probably look more towards the over.
Giants at Saints.
Saints laying 1.5. The total here is at 48.5. All right, so here I am, back on Contrarian Island. Listen, the last 2 weeks, the weather's been perfect. The Bears outright over the Cowboys, and then last week, we had nothing but sunshine. Sunshine as in Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. But this week, it gets choppy. The waters are getting choppy, and it's going to be loud because this week, it's Bourbon Street turned tropical. Crawfish boils on the beach, and the smell of beignets are in the air. Voodoo dolls for every one of you fools betting Big Blue. Jackson Dart out here fist pumping like he's Joe Montana with a spray tan. Bro, Keep drinking that Kool-Aid. Served to you dirty Jersey style by girls who smell like tanning oil, syphilis, and regret. While I'm out here double fisting, Sazerac, on the beach, toes in sand, beads around neck, brass band blaring, gumbo simmering, and I'm screaming, who dat? Who dat? Because on this island, every day is Mardi Gras. So bless them boys. Give me the Saints money line.
J.A. Cavaliers Pro Football Triple Crown. 3 NFL games for this Sunday. 3 straight, 3 two-team parlays, 1 week, $99. His Pro Football Triple Crown must go 3-0 or the entire NFL season is free. J.A. Cavaliers Pro Football Triple Crown. Link in the description below. Click the link now and jump on the money train.
Cowboys at Jets.
Cowboys laying 3. The total here is at 47.5. All right, here it is. Ride or die.
Ride or die, remember?
I don't just say it, I play it. I ride with the community. It cashes, and somebody from the comments wins a $200 Amazon gift card. Look, it's ugly, it's brutal, but if I'm playing wingman and I'm going to date your girl's ugly best friend, you best believe that you're coming with. And it's ugly. I'm telling you, it's ugly. Give me the Jets plus the 3. That's right. Look, the Cowboys just played their Super Bowl on Sunday night. Sunday night, prime time, standalone game, the Micah Parsons revenge game, the best game of Dak's career, and yet they tied. See, this is a classic letdown spot. I get it. Betting the Jets, it's uncomfortable. It's like flying Spirit Airlines. You know you should have never booked that flight in the first place, but here you are. Tickets in hand, knees jammed into the seat in front of you, turbulence rattling the plane like Justin Fields under pressure. Every bump feels like your bankroll is nosediving into the Atlantic. Babies screaming like Fireman Ed. The guy next to you sweating through his Sanchez jersey. And now the captain just announced there's a delay, which is basically code for we're fucked. You don't land with the Jets. You pray, you puke, and you promise to never do it again. Give me the Jets plus the 3.5. Listen, we're just praying that our luggage doesn't get rerouted to Cleveland this week. Ride or die, Jets plus 3.5. Go ahead, guys. Comment Jets, Jets, Jets. If it cashes, somebody from the comments wins a $200 Amazon gift card.
Broncos at Eagles.
Eagles laying 3.5. The total here is at 43.5. Now, the Sharps did come in and take a position early on this one. The Eagles actually opened up at 4.5, and they brought this one down to 3.5. For me, this is kind of crazy because I actually like the Broncos. And I don't know if it's just because I have a little soft spot in my heart for them after Monday night. They were a part of that monster night. So maybe that's what it is. I think the Broncos not only cover, I actually think they win outright. Look, the Philadelphia Eagles aren't going 17-0, right? And it wouldn't be crazy to think that this is the spot they lose in. Now, I've not gotten to the window with this, and I probably don't. Or maybe I get to the Broncos with the 3.5. I'm not saying take them outright. I'm not saying bet the money line, but you never know. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday. Look, it's also hard to bet against Philly because all they do is go out, win, cover. It's not always pretty, but they get it done. And Saquon Barkley has yet to have himself a game. So it wouldn't be crazy there to think that this is that Saquon go off day, right? Where all of a sudden it's they're up by 3, and then in the second half, he just breaks a 60. Following possession, he breaks a 40. It can happen. It's going to happen at some point in the NFL season. It wouldn't be crazy to think that this would be that spot because I know a lot of people coming in on Denver. The Sharps are coming in on Denver. They took the line down from 4.5 to 3.5. So with the world loving this, and this is going to be a very public dog this week because everybody hates Philadelphia. Everybody hates the city. They hate the fans. They hate the team. They hate Sirianni. For good reason, but they hate everybody. Yeah, even Burnsies is pointing. That's right. Everybody hates Sirianni. Look, so I wouldn't be surprised, if this gets closer to 3, and then you might have to jump back in on Philly. Sorry, Burnsy, because that's where the value would be. But as of right now, for me, the value's on the Broncos.
Dolphins at Panthers.
Dolphins laying 1.5. The total here is at 44.5. This might actually even come down. This might be my best bet of the week. how don't we just love the over in this spot, right? The Dolphins are a dead net over as is. So, like I said, might be the best bet. The Dolphins are like a turnstile on defense. Chuba Herbert, who right now is questionable, at least he's on the injury report, but if he plays, he is going to feast. The Panthers, they don't get after the quarterback. 2 sacks on the season, lowest pressure rate in the league. Tua from a clean pocket is a sniper. Panthers defense allowed 26, 27, and 42. And the Dolphins, even worse, 33, 33, 31, 21. And that 21 to the Jets really felt like 40, didn't it? First to 40 wins this game. Give me the over the posted total.
Texans at Ravens.
Texans are laying 1.5. Total here is at 40. What a shitty week to be a Ravens fan, huh? I mean, 1-3 and now no Lamar. And I'm not whistling past the graveyard. I mean, in fact, I like Cooper Rush, and I don't trust C.J. Stroud. Everybody this week is going to be piling on the Texans, and I get it. I do. I get it. Probably the most bet game of the weekend. This is probably going to be the biggest bet game by the public all weekend long. And probably sharps coming in as well. And if this line doesn't start moving up, you're going to get a lot of sharp money on that Texans money line. Look, no way the Texans lose, right? Not to Cooper Rush. That may be true. But since Lamar was ruled out, the line has dropped from Texas -2.5 to -1.5. And now in some places it's at -1. So you're saying there's a chance. No, I'm not. No chance. Then basically the no chance is there's no chance I actually bet this game, but never say never. It's also Thursday. So I may get closer to game time. I may get to the window with this. Look, Cooper Rush and a healthy Ravens defense, I'd be all over the Ravens in this spot. But this team looks broken. Sole win came against Cleveland. 2 losses by 25 points. And the bigger issue for me is that defense. 30th in EPA, 27th in success rate. No fucking Manma Jujuka. I don't know how to fucking say his name. Smith likely out. Van Noy might not play. Wiggins might not play. I don't trust them to stop anyone. You're going to have to give me the Texans, but this is more so a lean. And think about this. I want you guys to think about this. Look at this stat. Since 2019, there's been 4 quarterbacks not named Lamar that started for the Ravens. They're 4-10 in those games. I reluctantly lean Houston.
Titans at Cardinals.
So Arizona's laying, 7.5, 8, 8.5. I've seen this number bouncing around all over the place, but early line was like 8. Total here at 41.5. I don't care. Top prop, Marvin Harrison Jr., anytime touchdown. This really does feel like I'm cheating on Monty, but hey, a man can't leave on stake alone. For me, this is about momentum, matchup, and value. Now, first, Harrison coming off a crucial confidence-boosting touchdown. Yips through the first 3 quarters, and then in the fourth, he just let it go. And you can see after he scored that touchdown, you saw it all come together because after he scored, he started walking different. It was like he grew 3 inches. Second, he's heavily utilized in the red zone, and he should be. The kid's pedigree is undeniable. He's a matchup nightmare against the Titans secondary that can be exploited. Just isolate him one-on-one and let the big fella work. And finally, value. Plus 135 is a number that's too good for me to pass up. Top prop, Marvin Harrison Jr., anytime touchdown. When talent, opportunity, and matchups collide, tickets get cash.
Tell me what you gonna do now. Keep rolling, keep rolling.
Buccaneers at Seahawks.
Seahawks laying 3.5. The total here is at 44.5. And look, I'm going to lean towards Seattle. And listen, no world in the NFL do I ever lay 3.5. So if I'm playing this at all, I'm buying it down to a 3 or to 2.5. You guys, you know what? If you feel froggy, leap. The Bucs are fried, in my opinion. You have Bucky Irving in a walking boot and crutches. Mike Evans out. They're coming off, a back-breaking loss. Baker showed Baker in the worst of times, and now they're traveling 3 time zones away. You got to love Seattle in this spot. This team is actually sneaky good. I feel like a lot of people saw their loss in week 1, and they wrote them off. That's a bad idea. Give me Seattle in this spot. Like I said, I'll lay the 3 or lay 2.5, not laying the 3.5. And as of right now, it's just a lean.
Lions at Bengals.
Detroit's laying 10.5, or actually it's down to like 9.5, depends on where you shop. Total here at 49. I don't understand where people are coming in with Cincinnati love. I had some love for Cincinnati on Monday night. Oh, it was more so betting against them. Look, guys, it's really simple. I was just telling Bernsey, every week when I'm talking about the show, I'm looking at the show, this is basically my free square. Okay, I don't have to spend any time on this. You guys already know where I'm going. If you've ever watched this show, you're going to be able to watch the show every week, and you're going to hear me say the same fucking thing every week. It's David Montgomery time. David Montgomery, anytime touchdown. It just keeps cashing. Listen, so far, so right now, it's 2-2 on the season, but every week it's been plus money. So we're plus money by going 2-2. It's the Tuesday routine. You guys already know. This is what I do every Tuesday. And it's not just a joke. I wake up, the first three things I do: coffee, sex, Monty, anytime touchdown. Not always in that order. We've already up money on it this season. And think about this. You got to love the fucking matchup here this weekend. Matter of fact, Gibbs and Monty, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, ladder that shit. They may cash early and often. The Bengals run defense, bottom 5 in pretty much every category that matters. J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey just feasted on Monday night. What do you think Monty and Gibbs is going to do? This is going to be ridiculous. Honestly, I see this one being one of those games where you're seeing Gibbs go for 20, 30-yard runs. You're seeing Monty just bang through the middle. This is probably going to be one of those games where I actually probably ladder Monty. I'm looking for him to get into the end zone more than once in this week.
Commanders at Chargers.
Chargers are laying 2.5. Totals at 47.5. This is my game of the week, right? Look, you already know we don't bet teams. We play spots, we play situations, we play numbers, and this is a classic Charger bounce back spot. Justin Herbert, worst game I've seen in 2 years. He threw 2 picks, 200 yards, outplayed by a rookie, and lost to a winless team in the New York Giants. You need a get-right spot. The Commanders' defense would be that get-right spot. 27th in passing yards, 32nd in yards per completion, 30th in yards per attempt, 27th in quarterback rating, and 18th in points allowed. The Falcons just carved them up for 435 yards. They miss tackles. They blow assignments. They're out here looking like toddlers chasing bubbles. Chunk play after chunk play after chunk play. There's communication breakdowns. Their run defense, a sieve. Pass defense, a sieve. They apply no pressure. My dog has more sack. He's neutered. Same game parlay. Give me the Chargers money line and Justin Herbert in a bounce back over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Patriots at Bills.
The Bills are laying 7.5 or 8, depending on the market you shop in. Total here is at 49 or 50, again, depending on the market you shop in. I'm on the over in this spot. Look, guys, the debate's over. Josh Allen, best football player on the planet. In fact, if you went on Madden right now and you press create a quarterback, you put all of the attributes up to 99, you have Josh Allen. Buffalo has scored 30 in every single game this season, 41-30, 31-31. Remember, this isn't your daddy's Patriots defense. Vrabel isn't in pads. He's in street clothes roaming the sidelines. New England's defensive identity under Bill Belichick, long, long gone. They're 24th in yards per play, 26th against the pass. This is a team that gave up 362 yards to Geno Smith in week 1. What do you think Josh is going to do to this team? So if I'm getting 30 plus, and I can pretty much count on 30 plus from Buffalo, all I need is 20 from the Patriots, which is more than doable. The Bills' defense has been pretty soft this season. So to get 3 touchdowns, get 20, I think we cash this. And also, this series has a history of being higher scoring. 4-1 last 5 over the posted total. 5 of last 6 over the posted total. Only game that didn't go over last year was the meaningless where Josh Allen didn't play, right? The game was meaningless. Buffalo had it sewn up, so I think it was a Mitch Trubisky game. It's simple. Give me the over, and Buffalo may hit this on their own.
Chiefs at Jaguars.
Chiefs laying 3.5. The total here is at 46.5. I'll get to the game closer to Monday night, but I love this play and I love this spot here. Xavier Worthy over 56.5 yards receiving. Worthy is the classic burner. He doesn't need volume to cash this ticket. In his return in week 4, he immediately opened up that offense. He had 5 grabs for 83 yards. Now, that's what we call instant impact. He's averaging just over 10 yards per catch. His separation speed is already top 5. And listen, defenses are already rolling coverages towards Travis Kelce. You have Rashee Rice, so Worthy's targets are going to get a bump. So I'm getting a premier deep threat with high usage. It's simple. Sign me up. Xavier Worthy over 56.5 receiving yards.
Oh, mama, la 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 la. Oh, mama, la 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 la.
Welcome back to Flavortown, cooking with Chef J.A. Cavalier, where the knives are sharp, the bets are hot, and the only thing we're serving is regret. Today, we're cooking up a culinary masterpiece, a 5-leg parlay. So aprons on, burners lit, and it's time to cook the books. First, we start with the Chargers money line, our prime cut, the knot, the beef, the protein. Next, we hit it with spice, Cajun style, fresh from the Contrarian Isles. That's right, Gok Saints, New Orleans Saints, money line. Now the secret sauce, 2 cups of Justin Herbert over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Because let's face it, we all want a taste of Madison beer. Now we sprinkle in the points and make that shit rain, baby. Points, Dolphins, Panthers over the posted total. And finally, you guys already know. Bam! We kick it up a notch. Bam! The headbanger. David Montgomery, anytime touchdown. There you have it. A 5-leg souffle. It's bold. It's messy. And it will almost definitely turn your stomach. But remember, gambling, much like cooking, sometimes you nail the recipe and others, you burn down the fucking house. Well, bon appetit, and may all your parlays be tasty.
J.A. Cavaliers Pro Football Triple Crown. 3 NFL games for this Sunday. 3 straight, 3 2-team parlays, 1 week, $99. His Pro Football Triple Crown must go 3-0 or the entire NFL season is free. J.A. Cavaliers Pro Football Triple Crown. Link in the description below. Click the link now and jump on the money train.
That's right. Get to ylose.com. That's the letter Y, LOSE.com. Free pick, stats, trends, scores, odds, and more. That's ylose.com. One more time, guys. Drop the hammer. Smash the like button. Thumbs up. I've told you, appreciation always appreciated. I appreciate you guys the most. If you're new here, you enjoyed the channel, you know, it's simple. Subscribe. And if you haven't and you didn't like it, fuck you. Anyway, I'm going to see you guys back here next week, NFL Week 6, as I break down the entire card. But until then, remember, yesterday's a memory. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. You're here now. You're alive. Let's make this shit count.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation.